This is a 1958 Chevrolet Apache 3100 short bed pickup truck. But underneath, it is a 1980 Silverado. This is one of the best running and driving trucks, older trucks that I've ever been in. You hear the transmission shifts perfect. So it's got everything a 1980 Silverado would have. Power steering, power disc brakes, independent front suspension. Very smooth ride. I purchased this vehicle about 2 hours away from our shop and I drove it home, and I almost never do that. I'm very picky about not driving my vehicles home. But I'll tell you what, the guy that built this thing, he said, I'm telling you, man, this thing runs awesome. Look how easy it steers. So the speedometer does work, and what's happening though is it's hitting the little bright indicator, which actually does work. See, so the little speedometer actually, oops, the horn works. So when it gets up to about 50 miles an hour, it's hitting the little light. Oil pressure does work, and but the other gauges don't. So temp gauge, amp, and gas gauge do not work. It does have a new CD player inside. Other than that, the dashboard's all original. I'll let you hear this engine real quick, and then I can shut it off for the rest of the video. Just a really good running truck. This is one of the easiest hoods I've ever opened too. It's got brand new hinges and springs. This engine runs perfect. It's not much to look at. It's not all dressed out or anything. Nice aluminum radiator. Everything from the Silverado was switched over. So the control box with the for the AC, the condenser, everything's here. The AC just needs to be hooked up. The condenser's here in front. The compressor is there. It's loose. It's working. It was working when it was in the Silverado. So the heater does work, and all the controls work on the heater. Now this truck, and I was driving with the lights on so I could show that the brights work and everything. So lights work, turn signals work, brake lights work, horn. Windshield wipers or electric motor windshield wipers, they work. So this thing looks like Sanford & Sons. It's probably 95% superficial rust. It's just that patina, rusty, crusty look. And what I was gonna do as I was driving home, I was thinking, I think I'll shoot this thing in a hot rod black or flat black primer, and then go back around and scuff it up here and there and kind of make a cool rat rod. And my family said, you're crazy. You need to leave it alone and let the next person do what they want to with it, because somebody may want it just like it is. Believe it or not, the body on it's pretty straight. I mean, yes, it's got the rust around it and stuff, but this is not a rust bucket car. It's got a couple of spots of real true rust on it. And when I say that, I mean holes, but underneath is actually very clean. So rust, bottom of the door right here on the edge, and the cab corners on both sides have some rust in them. But like I said, it's sitting on a 1980 Silverado frame, so it looks like brand new underneath. Actually, the frame does. Just let this camera adjust real quick. No cuts or anything on the frame. So that's all the all original frame. And then, other than like those cab corners that I said like that, just surface rust. Look at the step ups, floor pans, all original floor pans. They are not rusty. The where you put your feet, you know, that's a normal spot where you see rust on these trucks, not rusty. So the underneath of this truck is not rusty. Inside the fender wells, you got a couple of little spots of rust there, just like two little holes right there. And the tire's a little too big for me to get in there. But I'm just saying that this is not some, even though it kind of has that rusty, kind of crusty look to it, that patina look to it, this is not a rusty, crusty old truck. You know, this isn't the truck that was found with a tree growing up in it or anything. Look at these step-ups. And they're in really good shape. Nice and solid. Yes, surface rust, but look at those original floor pans. They look the same on the inside. They're solid, all one piece, never been patched. Doors open and close easily. Hinge pockets are rust free. Bottom of the door is almost rust free. I mean, a couple of little spots. There's that little corner, one little piece of Swiss cheese right there. But I mean, even look, this inside the step up, the floor. Now he glued this because he didn't want it to slide around, but I peeled it up in a couple of spots. Let's see. Wow. But look at the floor pan that you can see, and then when I walk around the other side, I'll lift it up because it is super clean. That's all original floor pan. And then the guy bought a little jack. I'll leave that in here. And I've also got the original seat. And when I get back to the shop, I'm just gonna stick the original seat in the bed. So that can be reupholstered. If it was me, I'd put the original seat back in it. It only cost, you know, 150 bucks, 200 bucks to reupholster it, stick it back in there. I don't like the seat that's in it personally, because the triple seats, the problem with that is that the driver's seat sits off just a little, you know, kind of sideways from the steering wheel, but it is very comfortable. And I drove it home for 2 hours and it drove great. So every control on the heater works. That was mounted down here. Oh, like I said, I peeled up on this and unfortunately I ripped that carpet or that rubber just a little bit, but I wanted to show, it's more important to me to show that the floor pans are in great shape. Again, hinge pockets on this side, great shape. Bottoms of the doors, a touch of rust, but not all rusted out. Inner cab corners in good shape. Speakers are mounted inside here. And then the bed, it appears to me that probably the bed was off of a different truck than the cab, because the cab's all pretty consistently green and white and rusty, and then the bed is black and green and rusty. So that's why I had thought maybe about shooting the whole thing, but I will let the next guy do it, because this would make a killer super easy rat rod. It drives really good. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not saying it drives like a brand new Cadillac or anything, but I mean, it's a far cry from, you know, the way the old trucks drive. A couple rust spots in the bed, tailgate's a little beat up. I mean, this would make a great farm truck. Shoot it in black, like I said before, scuff it up, great patina on it. I mean, this thing runs awesome. It's got good tread on the tires. It's got a tow hitch, which is really nice. In fact, that looks like a brand new ball. Oh yeah, the glass windows roll up and down good. Two cracks here on the side of the windshield, but not in the way, so you wouldn't have to replace it if you wanted to give it that kind of, keep that patina. Crack on the both of the vent windows, but the actual windows themselves are not cracked. They roll up and down both sides roll up and down easily. And then you got a patina in here too. No headliner, patinaed paint. I think my family's right. I think my girls were right. I think it'd be a shame for me at least, to paint this thing, and then the next guy say, "Why'd you paint it?" So these trucks, when I get a truck in like this, it sells, you know, in like a couple of days. So be quick to call on it. I've got it priced right in the pocket. It's not overpriced. It's not underpriced. It's just perfect, and somebody's really going to be getting a great truck. This thing drives great. Everything works on it. It's ready to go.